But we've kept our eye on two teams today, and they're both down at the bottom of the league there in West Ham and Tottenham Hotspur. And I tell you what, there's more fight in them claret and blue shirts than I saw in them white shirts of Tottenham today. From Man United's point of view, Owen just kept going. In Fergie time, managed to get the winner, the equaliser.
Yeah. No, to be fair, it was a good game actually. If anything, Tim makes a good point. West Ham had a couple of chances to make it two, maybe even three. Two brilliant blocks from Lenny Yoro, but that. To be fair, Michael Carrick made some really positive subs. We had loads of attackers, and Seskon with a brilliant finish, probably his best finish in the United shirt. Felt like a fair result, I think, that won. Obviously, I think United would be disappointed, breaks their momentum. And West Ham, if they would have won that would have caused chaos in that relegation battle.
5 goals in his last 6 in all competitions for Benjamin Šeško, a crucial one here to rescue a point. The 100% win rate all over, big results, huge implications all over the table. Chelsea and Leeds drawing 2-2, Leeds battling back to earn a point in that one. Bournemouth turned it around against Everton to win 2-1 at Hill Dickinson Stadium. Newcastle earning a third away win of the season, and they beat Spurs. That put Spurs in a lot of trouble. West Ham earning a point against Manchester United. United with virtually one of the last kicks of the game, managing to equalise, fighting for that point. A host of games to come on Wednesday, including Manchester City against Fulham, Nottingham Forest Wolves is a big one in terms of relegation stakes, and then Sunderland against Liverpool as well. Just one game on Thursday, with 7th place Brentford take on league leaders Arsenal. Let's confirm what those results tonight mean at the bottom of the table, because West Ham could have gone level on points with Nottingham Forest. They are still 2 points behind and still firmly in that drop zone. Spurs are now in 16th. Leeds have moved ahead of them after that draw at Stamford Bridge. Top of the table then, Manchester United with that point remain in 4th place. Chelsea are in 5th, Liverpool still to play, and they are just behind them. Newcastle with that victory also moving to the top half of the table. Arsenal 6 points clear. City have an opportunity tomorrow to reduce that gap. Well, what a night in the...
Great finish there right at the end. I'm sure you'd have been wanting to get out there on the pitch, but a ball into the cross. You must be happy with the way you finished that one.
I'm happy with my finish, but not so happy with the draw, because I know we deserved the win, because we were fighting. Unfortunately, just the days comes when you're a bit unlucky. Maybe the intensity was not exactly there what it should be. But yeah, we were fighting. In the end, we got a draw, which is really important.
Yeah, both teams came into this in such good form. What does it say, though, about your team that you can go behind in games and right at the depth go and get an equaliser and take a point back to Manchester?
Because we are a great team together, you know. We are working together no matter what is happening. If we are behind, if we are in front, we're always fighting. As I said again, today was important to get this draw, because it was a difficult game for us. They were dangerous on the counter-attacks when they took a ball. But we managed to finish it with 1-1.
Spoke to your manager before. He said that he wanted this group to feel like a team. How is the spirit at the minute? Because you're on such a good run, another draw today, another point. How does the collective group feel at the minute?
No, we feel amazing. We are breathing for each other, doing everything together. When difficult moments comes, we are stepping together, which is really important and can lead to the results like they are right now.
I know you said you wish you wanted to win today, of course, but from a personal note, goals makes players way more confident. What can you take from today to hopefully bring you and your team over and towards the end of the season and get yourself more goals?
I think we just have to keep on going like we were doing the last games. We have to keep in mind that we have to breathe for each other, and we have to take care in every single situations, every second of the game, to be focused, to be on point, and obviously when the chances are coming, to finish them.
Yeah, your overall thoughts on the game tonight and on that moment at the end, managing to earn a point for United?
Brilliant finish from him, and I think he's actually proving a little bit more effective coming off the bench. I think the balance of the starting 11 looks really good, and I think when you can watch the game, I think for a young player, when you can kind of watch it from the side and then come in and have an impact like that, I think it's working for him. I think there's less pressure on him when he's coming from the bench. But I thought West Ham played terrific today. You'd never know they're in a relegation battle. Man United didn't really create that much. If anything, you'd have to say West Ham probably created a little bit more. Lenny Yoro had 2 brilliant blocks, which kept it from being 2-0. And then right at the end, Seskon with a fabulous finish, by the way, a little flick. And I mean, he'll be delighted.
Yeah, for Manchester United, just as Owen mentioned, those 2 blocks from Lenny Yoro obviously proving critical now, but West Ham, the most points dropped from winning positions in the Premier League, that's 20 tonight. They had opportunities to double that lead.
They did, yeah. They need to be more clinical when they get the opportunities. I thought the crowd stuck with them. Everyone talks about, there's no atmosphere at the stadium. There was an atmosphere there tonight. When the players play like that and they give everything, that's all them West Ham fans, they ask. Give everything for the shirt. It doesn't have to be sophistication. I thought they were excellent tonight, I really did. They carried a threat, they fought for the shirt. Dassasi's come back in there, it's his second start. I had question marks over him, he's come in there, he looks, Mavropanos is playing alongside him, he looks okay, and they look solid enough. And they couldn't break him down. And they changed the way they play. When Cunha comes off, and they've still got Mbermo, and we've got quality, you'll never take him off the pitch. And they bring Benjamin Seskon on, they get the ball in the box, they play differently. They don't cross the ball like that when Cunha's on the pitch. When them two swap over, it's a directive from Michael Carrick, is get the ball into the box, because this boy's nothing without service. And when you give him the service, he never got no service when he's playing for Ruben Amorim, not at all. You couldn't no, you're scratching your head saying, how can this boy play for Man United? He can't link play. When he's playing with Michael Carrick, they're getting the ball in wide areas, put it into the box, and he's a real threat. Fantastic finish from him.
Yeah, let's look at that finish, Mbermo with the cross. And actually, you called it the momentum of the game. You said they'll get an equaliser.
Well, I just thought they were pushing as hard as they can, but I wasn't 100% sure. But when exactly where this is going to come in with Mbermo, I'm not sure he would cross that if. Oh look, they've loaded up the box, that's for sure, and it helps out Benjamin Seskon, because when there's so many bodies in there, it's a good chance it might fall to one of your attackers, and he times it brilliantly, and he just sticks his big long right leg out and he just flicks it into the top corner. All right, he hasn't meant to put it in the top corner, but he's just meant to put a bit of lever on it, and that's exactly what he done. Stuck his boot on the ball and it flies in the back of the net. It was unstoppable. So credit to him. He's had a tough start, but it looks like he's gaining some confidence and he's enjoying playing under Michael Carrick.
Thoughts on the finish?
That's proper. I mean, that is... Normally people I think they'd kind of smash at that or volley it. He it's like a little finesse one. Mbermo is a fantastic player, but that's the only thing he can do, because I think it's defenders right in front of him. You see Disasi, he can't really do anything, because if he smashes it, Disasi blocks it. It's like a little flick. I mean, it just shows you football or sports, they're so instinctive. You just have to have a feel for the moment. And I thought Seskon there, the timing and the feeling of it was executed beautifully.
Yeah, before that goal in the 96th minute, it was all going according to plan for West Ham, because Thomas Souček's goal had given them the lead. Let's hear post-match reactions from him.
So I know you'll be disappointed now, but a great goal, a great run into the box and a lovely finish. I know you won't be too focused on now, but you're now the highest scoring player from the Czech Republic in the Premier League. I'm sure that's a proud moment. What are you feeling after, that moment for yourself, but also to drop those 3 points right at the end?
Yeah, obviously, as you said about this, so that's positive for myself, because I'm proud where I am from. I'm from Czech Republic, and this is so nice to have it. So I'm really proud, and it's nice. But obviously, it's tough to take, because I'm here to save the league, to save the 5 of the relegation, and this dropping points is really difficult to take, because to consider it, 96, like another 2 points, it's tough, because we want to go closer. I'm so happy with the performance, how the lads fight for the whole game, but obviously this is tough to take. But as it was 2 weeks ago against Chelsea, we know that we won the game, we played really well, and we took positives. Now we have to do the same, because the league have so many games, and we have to go for the next one with the same effort.
You mentioned there Chelsea and stay conceding right at the last, but especially today your team worked so hard. What can you take as a group, as a collective, from the performance that you put in today that can hopefully, like you said, save the league, save the season, and get yourself out of that relegation fight?
Yeah, the positive we can take that if we play like this, I would say 5-6 games, we will win the games, and we get out of the relegation, because we know that we're getting closer. We were far from that, but now we're getting closer. We are in the right right direction, right way, and that's what I feel in the whole spirit of the team. And you can see even the stadium, all fans are with us because we all have one job to do, one goal, and that to be in the Premier League next season.
About the spirit of this team under Michael Carrick now. They're unbeaten in 5.
Yeah, it just shows that they're never going to give up and they're going to keep going. They stick together. He just said the same on the interview there. They kept the belief that they can get something out of the game, and I think that's important because you do go through bad games when you're not going to play great. And I think all the best teams find a way to get a point or a win. And today a point's a very, very good point for me because I thought West Ham was on top in the game. The master plan that they did was block the midfield up so that we couldn't get through them. They did that very well, and I think they should have scored 1 or 2 more. If I'm honest with Callum Wilson, should have scored one going through on one-on-one in the end. But a great point for Man United in the end, and like I said before, it's a great finish from the boy. Yeah,
that game plan West Ham was working really well. But before the game, Karen, you spoke about how vulnerable they are from crosses, and that's the 11th goal they've conceded from across this season.
Yeah, the most from open play in the Premier League. So I was a little bit surprised at why Manchester United weren't trying to work it out to these wide areas. And Burma goes onto the right-hand side for the first time. And obviously, then you can get the left-footed cross in. And I mentioned about getting a centre forward on. You know, it doesn't have to do a lot to get into the position, but what he does is great finish, and it's just the contact and the pace from the cross helps him as well. But it's a brilliant little touch.
Mikhail, talk to me about that finish. Would you have been proud of that one?
I would have been I would have been so proud. Like when you look at it, the more you look at it, the better it becomes. Like it's out of the position. It's not like he tried to hit. It's just a nice little cushion, and it's just gone up and straight into the top corner. Like it. The more I look at it, the better it is for me.
What do you think of the way Seskon's growing as a player at Manchester United? Because there's been a lot of attention on him, but he's made some real impact from the bench recently.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for him. He's a young player coming into the team, and he's carrying the centre forward reign, if you like, start of the season was anyway, on his own shoulders. I think Mbeumo and Cunha took a little bit of that pressure off him over the last few months, but he's coming on and scoring goals, and I think for me, that's a very, very, very clever finish. Because if he swings his foot at that to try and get any power on it, the gives the defender time to get his foot across and block it. He's just touched it with a deft touch, and it's a phenomenal finish. It really is.
Really is. Absolutely gutted that the fans in here. But before the game, Karen, they probably would have taken that point. It's the same result as there was in the reverse fixture, but beforehand they would have been happy with it, I think.
Yeah, look, a point when you're trying to climb out of the position that they're in the relegation zone. You're right, but I think it's just the manner. You mentioned the last few chances that they had at the end of the game, and you were so close and stop the crosses, that desire to get out to Mbeumo, make sure the ball doesn't come in there, keep switching on, that concentration. It's difficult in those moments, but where you are in the league, you have to find them, and you can't help, you see them deflated going off, and you saw the manager Nuno's reaction at the end. He was like that. It's a massive opportunity missed, and they played really, really well.
And let's talk about the West Ham goal from Souček's point of view. A really good goal from a West Ham point of view, not so much from a Manchester United point of view, with a few of their players not covering themselves in glory here.
Yeah, definitely. It's one thing I always said, that Thomas will always pop up in goals. He's always in the right areas but with this goal here, I feel like either Shaw or Martinez needs to come out and needs to not let it bounce. Like from child days, like you'd always say, do not let it bounce. And that's what they did, and gave Jared the opportunity to knock it back to Thomas. Thomas is giving the ball back out to Jared. But what's quite good about it and quite smart is, like you see there, look, let it bounce. Jared's managed to go over to the back of him, knock it back to Thomas. He's had to go pressing. He's managed to dink it over Shaw again. Jared has taken his time, pick it up. Look, Thomas has stopped, and he's broken through the gap. Lovely little touch through the keeper's legs. Like that finish is a lot more harder than you actually think, because there wasn't much area for him to get it. So to get it between his legs and get into the far corner was a great finish.
Very sloppy though from a Man United point of view, Nicky.
Yeah, the disappointing thing there is when you play at this elite level like they are doing, I think everyone makes mistakes. I think they compounded it by making 2 mistakes. So they should have got there first before the ball bounced, in my opinion. And then the second mistake was he rushed out to try and make amends for the first mistake. If it had stayed with the man and made the midfield run back and protect him, I think they might have got away with that. But that happens in these little fine. Like you make one mistake, don't go and make a second mistake straight away, because then one thing's going to happen, you're going to score a goal.
Thomas Soucek, another player that you spoke about before the game, Karen, in his recent impact especially, being key to West Ham's improved form, his overall game tonight. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I think this is his 6th start with Fernandes next to him and coming back into the team, as you mentioned, and I don't think it's coincidental that West Ham and their form and their results have, been positive since he's come back in. He does all the kind of dirty work that you have to dig deep in. He has a presence in both boxes, and obviously tonight we saw that he played a little bit higher up because they put Potts in as an extra midfielder and he gets himself with a goal. But I think he's instrumental, and when you're in this position you need leaders and experienced players, and he has all of that.
The bad thing for West Ham, though, 20 points now dropped from winning positions, Mikel. It's a continued problem for them.
Yeah, it is. And it's difficult to say because obviously the performances that they've been putting out have been quality. Obviously, losing against Chelsea 2-0 up, you can't really afford to do it, especially in the position that you are. Then again, 1-0 up again, losing, conceding the goal in 96th minute, just needed to hold out for that extra minute. But it's the pressures that you're under. And one thing is, when you're in the relegation zone, some things kind of pile up upon you. But they've done so well and they've grown as a team, grown in their performances. So as much as the negatives happen today, that they're still conceding goals, they're losing points from winning positions, they still need to believe in themselves and believe that they were 7 points adrift a few weeks ago. Now they're just 2.
Yeah.
Just keeping the belief and keep going, keep pushing themselves.
You got the belief there now?
Anything could happen.
You got the belief there now?
Oh, 7 points, I thought they were gone. I'm not going to be honest, I thought they were done for, but 2 points, it's always a possibility, and there's always a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. They thought they'd held on today for...
A little bit frustrated with that. We've had 5 games now, and we've been at a really good level. It's a tough place to come, they made it difficult, and we just didn't quite have that sharpness or that spark really to find the answers too often. But in the end, big credit to the boys, the spirit again in the late goal, and when we needed it, it's a great quality to have. So we'll take the point and we'll move on.
On the spirit, before you spoke about wanting the group to be a team, you needed the whole collective tonight, and it was Benjamin Seskon pops up with that lovely finish.
Yeah, fantastic finish. He's done it again. It's important. It's important. We threw everything at it at the end and kind of had a lot of forwards on the pitch, and probably could put a little bit, probably a few more balls in the box if we're honest, really, around and with the players that we've got. And Josh had a chance that just went wide, and great finish from Benji. So delighted for him again. Another big goal for him and a good step.
It was always 2 teams in great form coming into today. After the disappointment of not taking all 3 points, do you feel like it will be a good point, hard worked from your group tonight?
Yeah, listen, from where we are and being together for a short space of time, I think we've obviously had big highs of the results and the wins, and I think there's times when it doesn't quite go to plan, and you've got to take what you can from it. And in the end, we've took a draw tonight, so it was a tough game. Didn't come easy. Sometimes football doesn't come easy, and you've got to find a way. And tonight we found a way to take a point. And as I said, we'll move on from that and take some positives from it.
No, there'll be no room for any sentiment tonight. But West Ham, they've had a good run of form, but they're in a difficult patch. I'm sure you'd like to see them to get out of the situation they're in.
Yeah, for sure. Now we're kind of done with them now. I'd love them to stay up. It's a big part of my life and grown up and great memories here. So hopefully they do.
Thanks. Safe trip.
Cheers.
Yeah, Michael Carrick's side staying in the top 4. But Nikki, a fair assessment from him. He said they were okay tonight. Could have been better, but take the points.
Yeah, no, exactly right what Michael's saying there. That sums him up. Very calm, very content, and what he's speaking about, understands where the team's at, understands that it's a good point to go home with after the first 89, 90 minutes. And he's right. He's dead right in what happened and what he said. If Nuno, on the other hand, must be going in there fuming, because the master plan he had at the start of this game, they perfected it right to the 90 minutes, and they still try to score goals, still try to attack. I think that's where they got to get compact and keep the result.
He spoke about them being better tonight. Let's look at the goal they conceded Manchester United then, Karen, because where do you feel it could have been better? They could have stopped it.
Yeah, I think United